the best we've done so far.
It's a record. Hi, I'm Elizabeth MacLeod. I'm the author and illustrator of The Wild Woman Mystery Cards, An Enchanting Journey to Your True Self.
And I'm Sarah Sahota, and I'm a life artist.
Yes, and we're here today talking about the cards and the different tools we can use when we're looking for guidance and answers and community and a way to move through our life with more ease and with validity and powerfully and with vim and vigor. How do we do that? How do we empower ourselves as wild women in this world? And how do we move with that? What does it mean to have a tool? I mean, what does it mean?
Well, there's all kinds of tools, right? We take courses to have tools, and we listen to and watch people like us for tools. And, these are tools. I think that, there's so many different tools out there.
Even the mud is a tool.
Oh yeah, coffee.
It's like, it's like I have to take a swig, but it's like, here's the meditation symbol on here, and it says you are beautiful. Take the time to know this. And so every time I use this, I sort of remember, even when I hold it, I feel it feels good to use it. You know how I like to have my favorite mug.
Oh, me too.
So these are also in the store.
But
I just I'm constantly taken by how those things can really matter.
They do. Well, everything matters. One of the things that I have found, and funny that we would go here actually, but one of the things that's really important to me is having certain tools in life that make me feel good. And that includes I want to have clothes that fit. I want to have shoes that are comfortable. I would like to, feel good in the body that I'm in. All of these things are tools because we're using life from the minute we wake up until the minute we wake up.
I don't know why this went through my mind, but when you said all the things we're using are tools and from the body I'm in, and I'm like, in a way, our body is a tool for our spirit, right?
Oh, of course
and I hadn't really thought of it quite like that until you said that.
Really?
Well, I had, but not really in the sense of what we're talking about, of using a tool like a mala, it's sort of but our body is that tool to spirit, that tool that brings us through life and back to source and finding our own untamed wild way. So when I say I haven't thought of it in that way, sort of I mean it in that kind of way. That's sort of the aspect of having a little toolbox. We usually look at it as outside of ourselves, but it's actually also part of us. As part of our tool.
Well, because, we've heard this many times before. You're a spiritual being having a human experience.
Exactly.
And so if we're a spiritual being having a human experience, then even this is simply a conduit to our spiritual life and our essence living on the planet.
And it's funny, in the deck I have a card called the Self card, and it says dress the part.
I love it.
Be the part. So it's sort of make yourself into an altar for the day. And that's sort of that whole idea of pulling yourself into an altar and realizing it's also part of the tools that we use. It's we have an altar, and that's a tool. In a way, this is an altar. It's a different kind of altar. It's an altar for presentation. It's also for using. It's an altar for playing. It's an altar for prayer. It's an altar for many things. But also, too, when we make ourselves into an altar, when we think about what we're wearing and what we put on our ears and what we put on our wrists and what we put on our body and how we dress and what we feed it with and how we treat it.
Yes.
With that sacredness, it's like our self is it's a powerful thing. And in this deck, self is the third wild woman freedom. There's the 12 freedoms. It's the third one, which is in the third chakra, which is the color yellow, but it's also about power.
Yes.
It's our power, our will, and our self. Yes. And we are the first tool in moving into other tools.
Yeah, because when we feel good, when our digestive system works properly, right? We all have these digestive issues going on today. When our digestive system works properly, when our clothes fit properly, then we carry ourselves in a certain way, and we're connected. And I heard this message, I call it downloads or messages, but I hear life analogies come to me all the time. And one of them was, I was thinking about the body as a conduit and the chakras and the energetics that go through the body. And I was putting it in that context of like, the body is a tool, the body is a conduit. And then I heard, it's a conduit with our feet on path and our head in purpose. Mm-hmm. And so we are charged with the responsibility of keeping the space between path and purpose clean.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also too, and in the courses that I teach, as you know, because you've done some of them, but we have our body, but there are many other bodies that we carry, like our dream body when we go dreaming, or our etheric body, where we go. I know you were. Yeah. And when you have. She was just staying over at my place while we were doing the video, so I heard her sleeping and talking in her sleep when I walked by the room in the morning and told her, "Hey, you was talking in your sleep." And what did I say? So that's another place, so that's really cool. We'd have a journal as a tool to write in so that we could learn about our dreams because our soul is speaking to us through, and it's a different language that we don't understand. So it takes a little bit more practice to make it happen. Yeah. And so when we're, going through, like there's all that, like even in acupuncture, if you go and you get acupuncture, that's another tool for your health. Yes. But it's working with a different part of your body. It's working with the etheric energy. It's like the gas of your car. It's like the gas of your body. Mm-hmm. And talk in depth about how these all work. When we're working with the cards, we're also working with different places in ourselves and different bodies and connecting to those places. And when we do that, we're also more in tune with our instinct, which is ourself, which is in our solar plexus. And there's so many ways of bringing ourselves back to those places. Because, we're untrained, right? We're untrained, meaning not that we're not trained, but we are untrained. Yes. I remember my mom was like saying to me one time, I said, "I'm hungry." "Well, how can you be hungry? You just ate." Yeah. "I don't know, but I am hungry." Yeah. When really, I eventually had a banana, and then I was fine. It's like my body maybe needed potassium or something. Yes. But I was being, you're trained out of that from a young, and not because they mean to. It's just that it doesn't make sense to our visual eyes that we would still be hungry after you ate, but you just need something else because your body's not complete. The toolbox hasn't been fed, in the way that it needs to be. Yes. And so having all these different tools is a wonderful way to keep this tool in shape, in so many words.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And then it allows us to live authentically, and it allows us to dig into the depths of what we're going through. And if you've watched other episodes, we've done a lot of talking about what we go through in life, and it's all our process. And to support it with the tools around us is part of our responsibility.
And it's like, I was just looking at the magnet. This is the magnet that goes. It's the Wild Woman Instinct is the third. Wild Woman Freedom. Yeah. It's this oil. It's this mala. It's the earrings are turtles, and that with the symbol turtle, it can be the Great Mother. And it's really cool to watch a turtle. Like she's very patient as she walks. Like she just has to be patient to get to the water, and then she zooms through very, very quickly. And she knows when to pull into her shell and when to go out of her shell. So she was beautiful to use for that particular one. And the magnet says, "When in doubt, don't. When you know, do. Leave the rest. There's nothing to fix." Yes. So how do you know what tool to use, and how do you know what to do? Yeah. That is how you know. That can be your mantra. So you could take your mala for Wild Woman Instinct, and you could use the magnet to go, and you go, okay, you start where the little charm is, and when I'm in doubt, I won't. When I know I will, I'll leave the rest. There's nothing to fix. And you go all the way around in each beat and charge it up and remind yourself, and it charges up your body to remember that actually you have that power. Yeah, absolutely. It's really, really, really beautiful. And how do you know what tool?
Guidance, right? I mean, the greatest thing about all these episodes is that they all marry each other together, and this is our life, and that using our tools to live our life really gives us access to our purpose and our path.
Well, and it gives fruit for our life. We have some fruits to eat from, and there's so many different kinds. So I hope that this gives you a little bit of an idea of how to find tools that work for you. Yeah. And you can go to the store, shop.wildwomanenchanted.com, and find some tools there. But there's many, many different ways of finding your ways and your method and your support and your nourishment and your necessities of what you need.
And I think it's important to mention, that doing this alone, it's not like it won't work. It just ends up with a different result.
And it's kind of neat. Like, I'm glad you brought that up. So we should talk about that in another episode about solitary practice and sort of group practice and how do you put it all together. So
absolutely,
that would be really cool.
Absolutely.
But why don't we I'm just going to end with a card. And again, sacredness. So
wow.
It's just living as if the sacredness in all life matters, remembering that we are a tool of the sacred.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, oh, mighty tool of the sacred, we bid you farewell for this episode, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks so much for being with us.
Yes, thank you.